Hey there. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to get started in just a second.
Are we there yet on the cruise?
Right. I so wish David and I,
Yeah, I
just for the
think
rest of you,
Carson is here.
uh, we
Uh,
are actually going on this cruise. So we are very excited and can't wait to hear all the details.
Just to
So
be
of
clear,
course
just to be clear, with our respective spouses.
that's right. That's right. I think I see Carson has hopped
Hey
on.
there.
Hi,
Good
Carson.
evening.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here. Second time around. It's good to see your face.
Yes, yes. So, for those of you who may not know, Carson and I did an event together in, I don't know, a few months ago,
Mhm.
and it was a great time. But of course, it's hard to coordinate everyone's schedule, so some people miss that, and so had been asking for another opportunity to hear more about this neighborhood cruise and hear directly from Carson, who knows it so well.
Perfect. Yeah. Again, very excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to sharing all the details with you all joining us. Christina, I think we had mentioned that we were going to give it just maybe 1 or 2 more minutes to let some latecomers into the
Sure.
call because we all know how technology can be for our individual computers. Christina, in the meantime, I'll go ahead and just test share my screen.
Okay.
Uh, and then we'll jump back to this fun Brady Bunch checkerboard and give it a couple more minutes. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds great.
Okay, let me just test this really fast. And shit. Okay, and you can see my screen there?
Yes.
Okay. And oh my gosh, all this Zoom stuff is in the way. Just move this down. There we go. Slideshow from beginning. Okay, perfect. So you can see that full screen?
Yes, we can.
And then finally, I don't know if you can see it on your end. Can you see the silly Zoom menu stuck in the middle of the screen, or is that just me?
I could, but it went away.
Okay. And it went back.
Oh, yeah, it went back.
Okay. Again, these are all the little details that there we go.
No
How's
worries.
that?
Technology is great, but and I will say we are recording this call because several people have not be, or are not able to join us live and have asked for the recording. So it is being recorded. And the other thing I'll say is that Carson and I are committed to respecting your guys' time. We know it's December. We know how busy everyone is. And so we're going to keep this to between 30 and 40 minutes. And in fact, Zoom is going to cut us off at 40 minutes. So if we end up disconnecting the call, you'll know that our time was up. And of course, I hope you all know how to reach me. And if any questions remain, you can definitely give me a call, text, email, all the things, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
All right, Christina, just to let you know, I've got my clock here, so we'll stay on time. It's 7:33 right now. I assume we go ahead and get started. My first
Sure.
slide, Christina, I'll let you talk about the foundation. And I promise to finish by approximately 8:05. I'm sorry. Yeah, 8:05 my time, 7:05 your time, and then we'll have some time for some Q&A. Furthermore, everyone, just to let you know, toward the end, we'll have a little bit of time for questions. Feel free to unmute yourself and raise your hand and say, hey, I've got a question. Or if you're a little shy and you don't want to get in front of everyone, down in the bottom of the Zoom window, there's a chat function. So feel free to type in your questions during the presentation, and we'll be definitely taking care of those toward the end. So without further ado, Christina, I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'll let you talk briefly during the first slide there.
Sure. So, the West Haven Foundation is an awesome organization based here in West Haven that does a lot of good in Middle Tennessee. And so I've been working with them for about 5 years on some other projects and wanted, we're always thinking about how do we raise money so we can have a bigger impact. And this is a great way that we can have a lot of fun. We can vacation like we already would and enjoy each other's company and can benefit the West Haven Foundation. So everybody who's joining in on the cruise will be part of our group, whether or not you live in West Haven. It's okay. Your cruise will count toward that, and we will hopefully be able to do great things together while we're cruising.
Beautiful, thank you. I'll go ahead and take over here. So again, tonight is being brought to you by Journey Lux Travel. Christina here, she's a full service travel advisor. So I always just like to sort of state this at the very beginning. Tonight, I'm going to be sharing everything about river cruising, Amawaterways, how we do things different from the other guys out there, and what you can expect when you are traveling with us. If at the end of this presentation tonight, this isn't for you and you want to do something else, please talk to her and she'll be able to support you on ocean cruises, all-inclusive beach resorts, whatever. So I just want to put that out there that she just doesn't do just Amawaterways. She does everything. And certainly we've had plenty of conversations around this. One of the reasons she chose Amawaterways is A, the West Haven Foundation, but also B, she felt it would be something that you all would be interested in learning more about. And again, as I mentioned, I'm going to give you an Amawaterways 101, and we're going to highlight one of the groups that she has put together for July of next year. I'll walk you through that itinerary. It is going to be brief. Again, we're going to hit all the highlights. I don't want to give away all the surprises you'll enjoy on the experience. But again, if after tonight's presentation you have any questions, reach out to her. She's going to be full support. She's going to give you all the answers you need. And she's got me on speed dial. So if you throw her a doozy and she doesn't know the answer to it, she'll ask me and we'll get you taken care of. And that actually segues into my next slide. Really, the one thing that separates Amawaterways from the other guys out there is our people. Our staff, our crew on board the ship is absolutely going to delight you. They take care of your needs. They anticipate your needs before you even know you need them. But by extension, Christina here is part of our Amawaterways partnership. I usually have time to ask questions and interact with the crowd here, but we're going to be brief tonight. I'm sure many of you haven't heard of Amawaterways before you were invited to tonight's event. We are the world's second largest river cruise company that no one's heard of because we don't do direct marketing like our friendly competitors out there. Everything we do is through our travel advisor community. Everything we do is through word of mouth. And for you being here tonight, we just want to say thank you because ultimately, hopefully, after tonight, you're going to say, yes, let's jump on board with Christina's group. We'll drag some friends with us, and we, Amawaterways, will continue to grow our business in that fashion. As a thank you, we've got a fun little gift for you all. I'll go ahead and mention that toward the end of our presentation tonight. But again, I just really want to say thank you so much for joining us. Echoing Christina's comments, it's the holidays, it's nighttime, so let's dive into this. For many of you, it's possible that you haven't done river cruising at all, but you might have done oceans. So this is the big distinguishing point between oceans and river cruises. Oceans take you to the countries, rivers take you through them. Try to conceptualize these ships more like floating boutique hotels, where every day you wake up in a new destination and you are in the heart of that destination. You walk down the gangplank and you're there. Versus an ocean cruise liner, I might sort of relate that to a floating casino, right? They've got literal casinos, they've got theaters, they've got all kinds of fun stuff to do on the ship. But river cruising is way more immersive and it's destination focused because it is more intimate, because it is a smaller ship that accommodates on average 150 people, not 9,000 like some of those ocean liners out there. So again, if there are those of you that are watching, if you're really wanting to dive into these destinations and experience these places more like a traveler and less like a tourist, Amawaterways is absolutely for you. And we'll dive into exactly how that looks. We travel the world. So obviously Europe is going to be our bread and butter. Europe was designed for river cruising essentially because all the major cities, all the places you want to visit on the interior of Europe are built on the rivers. That's how civilization grew over the centuries and millennia. So naturally, when river cruising came to the scene in the mid 90s, it was just easy, plug and play, and we are really growing. Again, for those of you that haven't been river cruising before, it is so hot right now. Probably most of your friends and family have done it, either with us or with someone else, because I think that a lot of people are beginning to understand that that intimate experience is really so much more fun. And like I said, more immersive. We also have our four exotics, South America and Colombia, Asia, Africa, and Egypt. But again, we're not going to focus too much on all these places. I can spend a day talking about it. We're going to be focusing on one destination in particular, and that's going to be the Rhine. So why Alma? What makes us different from the other guys out there? And again, this is going to be educational for you all in the sense that these are the questions that you should arm yourself with when you're talking to her, and you're trying to shop around for your river cruise experience. These are the things that should be important to you, and just make sure that this is what you are going to get. So with Amawaterways, the biggest thing, and I've already said this before, is our people, and by extension, the unparalleled service. When you're on board our ships, you will experience a staff to guest ratio that is unprecedented. Basically, one staff for every three people on board our ships assures a certain level of luxury and service that you won't expect from the other guys out there. I have a quick, fun anecdote I'll share briefly. Being based in the US, being a US company, family owned and operated, based out of California, it's important for our team once a month globally to come together on a call just like this and talk about the experiences and fun stories we hear about on the ships. That's how we stay connected to our product. This is a fun story. So, we had this gal on board the ship a few months back. Don't know anything about her, don't know where she's from, but she was very disappointed at dinner on night one aboard the ship that we didn't serve Diet Mountain Dew. She insisted I always have Diet Mountain Dew with my dinner, and we didn't have it. For those of you that know, the reason why we don't have Diet Mountain Dew on our ships in Europe is because Mountain Dew is illegal in Europe. It's got ingredients that their food administration does not allow for human consumption. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But the server was leaning over, having this conversation with this nice lady. The maitre d' behind them overheard it and knew that we had an executive member of our team flying in from our Malibu headquarters the very next day, and shot them a quick text message and said, hey, bring over a six pack of that Diet Mountain Dew when you fly over. So the next night, and every night thereafter, that lady was surprised with a champagne flute with that radioactive green stuff in it and the remainder of that soda in the can right there. And she was tickled. Now, that's the kind of stuff that we love doing. I'm not promising that for any of you on the call. But the reason I share this is because I'm about to show you some incredible images of food and wine and the accommodations, the service. But all that to say, our focus is the guest. Our focus is that guest's experience. And even though Diet Mountain Dew may not blend in with our luxury accommodation sort of style, it is important to note that we made it a point to make this woman feel comfortable. And you can expect very similar kind of service and a focus on what you're looking for, on what you need. The cultural exchange is the whole reason why we travel. You're all on this call tonight because you love to travel. But if you're looking for great food and great accommodations, you've come to the right place. However, you can probably go down the street and go to an incredible restaurant, probably stay at an incredible hotel an hour away. Why do we travel over an ocean to experience another place? It's this. It's the cultural exchange. It's understanding deeply how other cultures think, how they talk, how they dance, how they eat, all those different things. And that is what makes travel so magical. So if the cultural exchange is at the heart of the experience, it better be genuine, it better be authentic, and it better be real. And how we do that is by bringing on board professionals who are passionate for your evening entertainment or sometimes your morning lectures, whatever that particular itinerary has in store for you. The cultural exchange off of the ship happens in the form of shore excursions. Shore excursions are all included with Amawaterways. Remember, it's not so much how much it takes to get on the ship, it's how much it takes to get off. And with so much more included with this fare, you will find that you're not really paying any more money and the value is absolutely there. What the shore excursions typically
Carson,
looks
if
like.
I can interrupt for just 1 second to say,
Yes.
this is a huge area, I think that sets AMA apart because I do lots of cruises, ocean cruises and otherwise, and people end up spending a great deal of money on excursions. And so
Mm.
this is a great savings. And they do
Yeah,
them
yeah.
well. The clients give me great feedback all the time.
I appreciate you mentioning that. And again, for those of you that have done any kind of cruising in the past, you know what it's like to have the last day walking off the ship, checking out, and they hand you that bill. And you lean next to your travel companion, like, honey, oh my gosh, how do we rack up this bill? With Amawaterways, there's really only four things you can spend money on. I'll get into that in just a bit. Everything else is included. So when I talk about value, I'm talking about the fact that you really are getting so much for what you're getting when you purchase a ticket with us. Um, with the shore excursions, they're also unique in the sense A, they're all included, but B, we offer multiple options, sometimes two, three, maybe even four options in the morning, a few options in the afternoon and or evening. And within those options, we have gentle, normal, and active pace. So not only do you get to pick what you do, you get to pick how you go about doing it. And by offering so much more included, by having all these people kind of breaking up into smaller groups, we can offer these excursions at a size of about 9 to 13 people on average in Europe. That allows you to participate in these destinations rather than just walking down the street, listening to the local guide 100 feet up with 50 people in front of you. You might as well be listening to a recording, doing a self guided tour. Your experience is going to look more like the bottom of the screen there with only a few people in your group, in which case you're able to lean in and talk to the local guide, ask them questions, and ultimately guide the experience based on what those people are asking for in that particular group. So again, the cultural exchange is at the heart of what we do, and we do a great job with that. I was talking about food earlier. We are Chandé Rotisserie certified. That basically means that we attract the best talent in Europe to leave their restaurants for a season and come work aboard our world-class kitchens in our world-class ships. So we get the best people, you get the best food, and we get good business because you're going to fall in love with the dishes you're getting on board and you will come back again and again. The food, in my opinion, is probably the best form of that cultural exchange. There's no better way to experience a culture than through your stomach. So the food on board is farm to table, cooked from scratch, organic, and we can tell you the name of the farm, the farmer, we can tell you the name of the chicken. It really goes to that point where we want to make sure that that culinary experience is top notch for you. Um, the food is going to change depending on the region, the country, or the city that we're sailing through. So, why serve French wine the entire cruise if we're going through three different countries, let's say? So, every day, the included wine and beer is going to change between lunch and dinner. Tuesday's wine is going to be different than Wednesday's wine because we're going through a different part of that region or of that country or of that town. So, the food is going to be thematic based on the experience that we're having off of the ship. The final thing I'll say about the food is that we are the only river cruise line out there at this time that does not have freezers on board our ships. Everything is cooked from scratch. Of course, ice cream, gelato, cocktail ice cubes, that stuff is frozen, but everything else is locally sourced and just basically chopped up that day. The chef's table is really unique to us. You'll get to experience it on the group I'm about to highlight. It's a specialty dining restaurant in the back of all of our ships. Very intimate, 28 people max. It's a 7 or 8 course tasting menu, and the whole thing is cooked from scratch behind glass. Um, this is included in your fare. All you have to do is walk on and sign up for whichever night of the week you want to do. I do believe that the group is going to have a reserved night where everyone can jump into the specialty dining restaurant together. But if that's not what you want to do and you want to pick another night, that's entirely up to you. Final thing I want to point out too is that with Chef's Table, this is the one night of the week where people like to get a little done up. Please do not pay attention to the tuxedos and ballroom gowns that you see in these pictures. I do not know why marketing does that. This is a vacation. We want you to be comfortable. And what that looks like is smart casual. It's a very casual atmosphere with a very sophisticated style of service. So please be on vacation, no neckties, no princess, Queen Elizabeth hats, ladies, unless you're comfortable with that stuff. And this is that one night where people like to get a little bit more done up. Another question I get about food is dietary needs. These days, people are becoming more educated with what they can or should not eat. And so we are able to accommodate everything except kosher. Kosher requires two kitchens. We only have one. But if you're gluten free, dairy free, sugar free, pescatarian, vegetarian, whatever the case might be, we can and will accommodate. And even better yet, we'll make it seamless. We know who you are, so you don't have to raise your hand every time you sit down and say, can I get the gluten-free menu? Can I get the sugar-free menu? Well, we've created that menu for you, custom made, and it'll be slipped in front of you every time you sit down. Let's talk about the fleet. I've already mentioned we're the second biggest on the planet. Next year, we'll have 36 ships on the water, and all of our ships but one maxes out at 160 people. On average, there's 150 guests on board a ship. So, with that being said, every ship in Europe is the exact same size. They all have to fit through the same locks. A lock is an elevator for the river. The ship goes in, doors close behind it, it fills up or sinks with water, and you pop out the other side at a different sort of elevation. Sometimes it's hundreds of feet. It's quite an interesting engineering feat. That's how they control the river flow. So everyone's got the same size ship. The other guys will throw 190 people on the same size vessel as we do. And as I mentioned, we max out at 160. So with fewer people, your staterooms are bigger, you have specialty dining, you have better accommodations, and ultimately you've got a spa, a hair salon, a nail salon, a fitness center, a gift shop, all that fun stuff because we're not filling up that space with people, with rooms. So we really feel like the luxury of space is what people are looking for in an intimate setting like this. And we've got our signature twin balcony staterooms. One balcony is inside, one balcony is outside. You can open up both doors and have that fresh air and the beautiful world going by as we sail by these incredible destinations. So you're just getting so much more because there's fewer people on board. Destinations, again, as I mentioned, Europe is mostly where we spend our time. South Africa, life-changing experience. Asia, we combine Vietnam and Cambodia on the Mekong River. Egypt, very popular now. And then, of course, Colombia. I'm going to be sailing that next week. I'm very excited with Amawaterways, and is our newest and latest and greatest destination. So if you're interested in any of those things, please chat with her and she'll book it for you. The one I'm highlighting tonight, again, this is going to be put together by Journey Lux Travel and very much involved with the West Haven Foundation, is the Enchanting Rhine. This is the highlighted group. This is where you're going to get all kinds of goodies. Um, and most importantly, you'll be traveling with some fantastic people that have already booked into it. So this is the Enchanting Rhine. You'll be sailing on board Amacerto, one of our sort of newer ships, and it's sailing from Basel to Amsterdam, and it's July 22nd through July 29 next year. So still plenty of time to budget, plenty of time to kind of plan flights, all those details you can work out with Christina there. But I can't wait to dive into this. So let's go ahead and jump in. The Rhine River is your quintessential river cruising experience. When you guys see commercials with the other guys after Downton Abbey, when you see postcards, you're probably looking at the Rhine River because it is so wonderful. It is perfect. It's got those fairy tale castles and it's got the gingerbread villages, and you'll be cruising through some incredible places. And of course, Germany is going to be the main attraction with this because most of your time is going to be spent in vintage German towns, enjoying historic castles, and very importantly, elegant vineyards. So the Enchanting Rhine, as I mentioned, you'll be starting in Basel and finishing in Amsterdam. And you're going Basel, one of Switzerland's most cosmopolitan cities. It's home to 40 museums, the highest concentration in the nation. It's got a picturesque old town, richly decorated market square, 500-year-old town hall, and Switzerland's oldest zoo, built in 1870. It's actually home to about 700 species of exotic flora and fauna. So it's a really unique destination and a great place to start your journey. Then we move north, and we're going through Bressach, Germany. It's your gateway to several sort of different excursions, depending on what you're looking to do. So you can take a time travel, step back in time, and visit the enchanting Alsatian town of Colmar. It basically has been kept in a time capsule since the 16th century. When you're walking through that tour, you're going to see some historic architecture and get a glimpse of the Statue of Liberty. It's a small replica of the famous version, which we all know and love in New York, to commemorate these sculptors' birthplace. So the guy that put together the Lady Liberty in New York grew up in this town, and they commemorate it with a small version of what we've got in New York. If you're looking for something a little bit more active, you can bicycle through the scenic countryside or go on a hike through the Black Forest, which is magical. It's got a lot of stories behind it and a lot of cultural traditions. So again, we've got those active pace bicycle tours, again, included. And we've got the slower pace walking tours where for some of you want to do some shopping and stop in and grab a cup of coffee, et cetera, et cetera. So all kinds of ways to do that. Moving on, we go through Strasbourg in France. It's beloved for its wine culture. It's got the Cathedral de Notre Dame, the world's fourth tallest church, and an excellent example of 15th century Gothic architecture. This particular city has changed hands between France and Germany multiple times throughout history, and that unique heritage is really evident in terms of the food, the architecture. It's a beautiful blending of those two cultures. So all kinds of fun stuff you can do there. Picture on the left there, that is a particular area. It's called Petite France. It's a small area of medieval half-timbered houses and Baroque sandstone coffee. They light it on fire, and it is incredible. In Rudesheim, we offer a gondola and wine tasting tour. So you drink some great wine down in a cave, and then you go up the top of the mountain in a gondola, just the two of you. And usually we try to time that with either sunset or in the afternoon when the sky is pink. And it's just beautiful. So you can gondola up and gondola back. You can hike back. You can bike back. All kinds of ways to do that. And of course, lots of history in this particular town. World War II, quite a bit was going on here. Rudesheim was very much a funnel space for invasions and liberations. So all kinds of fun stuff to do there. The Rhine Gorge will follow. So when I mentioned earlier that mostly we sail at night so that you can spend more time in these beautiful destinations, there are going to be instances where we sail during the day. And one of those instances is going to be the Rhine Gorge. You want to be awake and you want to see this for yourself. This is 40 miles of river with 40 castles on it, basically one castle every mile. And everyone goes up on the sun deck with cocktails and champagne. They either hang out in the heated pool or lounge and read a book. And you can listen to the narrative of the cruise director telling the stories of these castles. That castle right there is a pile of stones, as far as I'm concerned. But once you start learning about the stories, the people that live there and their lives, that's what brings a destination to life, the storytelling. And I think we do a great job with that. We also go to that castle I just pointed out. That's the Laneck Castle. It's perched on a steep rock, and it's a 13th century medieval fortress, and it's a treasure trove of legends surrounding this castle. The 12 Knights Templar hung out here, apparently, and you have a guided tour through this castle. It's absolutely fantastic. Moving on, we go to Dusseldorf in Germany. This is basically going to be one of those unique towns that sits on both sides of the Rhine, with Old Town on one side and a modern version of the city on the other side. We'll visit the Old Town. We'll see the Art Academy. The longest bar in the world is actually 260 bars side by side down a street. And you can choose to do the Kolsch tasting beer tour. So you can taste all the different Kolsches and see what that's all about. And so all kinds of fun stuff here in Dusseldorf and a real traditional German experience. And then, of course, finishing off in Amsterdam, this is the Venice of the North. 165, I think, man-made canals, which you can wander through, guided tours. You can just steal away, maybe the two or the four of you, and just disappear into this beautiful destination. The whole thing is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which means it's protected and no one can change the way it looks. So everything you're seeing there is basically how it looked decades and centuries ago. So again, you're going to have a lot of fun there. Now, Amawaterways, that's the cruise. And I'm sorry it was so fast. We have so much to cover. And of course, if you have more questions about the itinerary, we'll answer them in just a second. But that's the cruise. Now, that's the group that she's put together. We've already got some great momentum on it. There's a little bit of space left. We'd love to have you guys come on board with us. But if you want to add on a little bit of time before or after the cruise, we can do that for you. So what does that look like? We call that a pre and a post. The pre is 4 nights in Lucerne and Zurich. So you can spend a little bit of extra time in Lucerne and Zurich, where you'll enjoy cruising on the lake. You'll go up the picturesque mountain on a cable car ride, all kinds of breathtaking views and some incredible food here. Not to get into too many details, but you're going to be staying in a 5-star hotel, centrally located. Transfers are included, breakfast is included, tours are included. But the best part, and what makes it Amawaterways without the ship, is the fact that the cruise director is with you on the pre and on the cruise. This particular itinerary, we don't offer a post, but if you want to spend a little bit of extra time in Amsterdam, talk to Christina and she can set that up for you. She can put together anything you want on either end of the Amawaterways experience. So that's the cruise, that's the itinerary, that's Amawaterways in a nutshell. And we really do believe we are the heart of the river. So you will experience that when you travel with us. So again, I'll go ahead and open it up to some Q&A. I will stop my share right now. And it looks like we've already got something in the chat. Let's see. Oh, okay. Thank you, Rosa, for mentioning that. Does anyone have any questions? David, I see your hand up.
Yeah, just a quick question. When will the menu of excursions be available to look at
Yeah,
and
very
choose
good
from?
question. So about 45 days prior is the typical time when we broadcast the excursions available to you on this cruise. In the Alma Waterways app, you can go down the list and it'll tell you every day what the options are, the difficulty levels. It'll give you a description so you know exactly what you're getting into, and that's where you can sign up for them. Now, mind you, if you look at the brochure, if you talk to Christina, there is a list of excursions we guarantee, but that's not all of them. We typically build them about a month out so that we know what the weather's like, if there's
Sure.
any local festivals that you'll probably want to see, et cetera, et cetera. The final thing I'll mention too is that unlike ocean cruises, when you sign up for these excursions, let's say you signed up for a hike up Rudesheim on Tuesday, but Monday you were out drinking too much wine and you don't want to do a dang hike. You can just ask us the next morning and say, hey, can I slide into this group or maybe the gentle pace? We're very accommodating because the groups are so small. It's easy to kind of flex
That's
people back
great.
and forth last minute. So it's very flexible. Did I answer your question, David?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Yes, Susan, you are muted. You'll have to unmute yourself. Jiggle your mouse, and there should be a microphone button. Or maybe Rosa or Christina can unmute you if you guys are the hosts.
Rosa, can you do that?
There you
There
go,
we go.
Susan.
Can you hear me
What's the
now?
question?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
All right. When you were talking about the general uh, group as far as your excursions, about what are you talking as far as walking and so forth?
Yeah, so with a gentle pace, mostly you're going to be doing either motor coaching. In some destinations, actually like in Rudesheim, there's a choo-choo train that picks you up at the end of the gangplank. Everyone gets in the train and it takes you up to the base of the gondola. Of course, there's a little bit of walking to get to the gondola. There's elevators, things like that. You sit in the gondola, you go up, little bit of walking around the monument, and you can hang out there for as long as you want and take the gondola back down, and the choo-choo will take you back to the boat. That is an example on this itinerary of what a gentle pace experience looks like. So please do not expect too much walking with gentle pace, but there may be transferring from boat to the shuttle to the place where we're going to sit down and do a wine tasting. So when I say gentle, they're very gentle. And again, all of that is going to be described when you look at the excursions before the cruise.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Yeah. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left. I hear gentle, but is it very fast paced? Anna, it's not fast paced at all. Um, Typically, what that looks like is the gentle, normal, and active pace groups. They all do A, B, and C. However, the gentle pace group will probably only do A, B, and C, taking their time through that process. Whereas the active group will do A and a half, B and a half, C and a half, if that makes any sense. Oftentimes, the groups meet up gentle and active for the wine tastings or whatever, and then they split up and continue with whatever pace they're doing. So it's not fast paced, it is gentle. And there's also the middle, right? So if it's like too slow and you want to go a little bit faster, but not that fast, go on the normal group. And there's all kinds of stuff in between. So, Anna, I hope I answered your question there. Tricia, are there many single travelers signed up? What is the pricing for a single? Um, we have a lot of solo travelers traveling with Amawaterways these days. And if you are a solo traveler, you are invited to a solo traveler only reception at the beginning of the cruise. So you can meet everyone else who's solo on board the ship, not only in the group that Christina's put together. And with solo travelers, we just find that there's a lot more on there. So there's a high likelihood you'll be making friends on the ship. The second part of your question is what's the pricing? So the pricing that Christina's quoting you guys is based on double occupancy. I'm not a math guy. I'm going to use nice big round numbers. And this has nothing to do with quotes or pricing with Amawaterways. I'm just using round numbers. A room, let's say, is $10,000. The pricing you see in the brochure is $5,000 per person, two people in that room. A solo traveler going in that same room with the other guys would pay $10,000 because that's how much the room is worth. With Amawaterways, you'll never pay more than 150% the advertised pricing. Christina can also talk to you guys and quote you what that solo supplement might look like. But again, the most you'll pay is 150% as a solo traveler.
Hey,
So I hope
Carson, would you be willing to log back in if we're going to get disconnected in just a moment. If we all
okay,
just log back in on the same link, then we can finish the Q&A and make sure that, everybody has had their questions
okay.
addressed.
So everyone, just one more time, log out and then log right back in the way you did it 45 minutes ago with that same link, and we'll all just start up again. So good call, Christina. I'll see everyone in just a minute.
Sounds good. Great. Thanks, guys. And I apologize for being disconnected. I am not, uh, I don't run a big operation, so I don't have the Zoom subscription that gives you long meetings and allows many, many people in. So please forgive me.
Book more business.
That's right. That's right. Cruise more, do more business with me, have more fun together, and yes, then I can pop for the expensive subscription. Rosa, will you unmute Carson?
Larson,
Sorry about that, guys. I was just going to say, glad that we're all back. Rosa, I don't know if you remember some of the questions in the chat that were not answered. I don't think that carried over with us.
That's yeah. If one question that was not answered is from Anna on this solo traveler option, we are not alone, right? Meaning we travel as a group and stay protected within the group.
Yes. So as a solo traveler, you would be part of Christina's group, and the group will naturally come together. But please remember for the rest of you on the call, this isn't forced family bonding, right? This isn't my Aunt Stephanie forcing the family to sit down every night after dinner to share their story and their lives and the best part of their day, right? You can move in and out of the group however you please. But certainly when I hear you say protected, please know, even without the group, when you're traveling with Amawaterways, you're part of a bigger group. You're part of a structure and a situation where somebody is holding your hand through every step of the way. And if you want to swat that hand away and do your own thing, great. But within the Amawaterways family, you'll be part of something. And then inside of that, you'll have Christina's group with a number of folks traveling with you. So for the solo travelers out there, please don't worry about a thing. You are in good hands and you won't feel alone. You will have friends everywhere you look. So, Trisha, I hope that answered your question, unless there was another question you had. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so the four things that you can spend money on board the ship is drinks between meals. Why don't we include that in your fare? Because you're not on the ship between meals, you're doing shore excursions. And if you really want to drink between lunch and dinner, we've got the Sip and Sail cocktail hour, which is an unlimited open bar. We have unlimited mimosas and fresh squeezed juices for breakfast, unlimited beer and wine for lunch, unlimited beer and wine for dinner, and as I mentioned, that Sip and Sail cocktail hour. So if you want to drink in the afternoon, pick the shore excursion that offers whiskey tasting, beer tasting, wine tasting. So that's the first thing you can pay for. The second thing is laundry. Third thing is the gift shop. And the fourth and final thing is the spa, the hair salon, and the nail salon. Everything else is included. However, as a thank you for everyone being a part of this call, if you book by the end of this year, please know that I will give you personally complimentary gratuities. So you don't have to pay anyone a tip, either on or off the ship, as long as they're part of the Amawaterways experience. That's about a $240 value per person. And again, I just want to say thank you and share my gratitude in that way. So again, at that point, with complimentary gratuities, you guys don't have to spend a dime at any point on this sailing, unless you want to do laundry.
That's great,
But I'd like
Carson.
to
Thank
do,
you for that. And
of
the other thing
course.
I would say is that if you are interested, please do get with me right away. There are limited cabins left. This is a very popular cruise in the summertime. It's beautiful along this path, and it is booking up. And I do not have rooms held, right? This cruise is still open to the public, and the public is, I'm watching the inventory. People are scooping up these different rooms. So if you're interested, let's put one on hold for you, and you can certainly take some time to think about it. But Amma will give us a courtesy hold on a room.
Perfect. Okay. Well, that was a good call, Christine. I appreciate you inviting everyone to jump off and jump back on. We have time for maybe one more question. Any takers? And again, you're probably going to wake up in the middle of the night and you're going to be like, damn, I forgot to ask Carson or Christina that question. That's great. Text Christina at 2 a.m. in the morning. She'll get back to you when it's office hours the next day,
Right.
and you will be taken care of.
Yes, and Kayleen, just to tell you, we do have two West Haven cruises. One on the Danube in November. I believe the date's November 11th. That also, the proceeds for that also benefit the West Haven Foundation, and we do have quite a large group going already on that. So that is an option as well.
Thank you, Christina. We have one final question from Anna. What would be a reason for cancellation of the cruise from the company? If the ship sinks before you get there is probably the only way we would cancel this particular cruise. Now, mind you, if your cruise is canceled for whatever reason, if your cruise is impacted due to weather not allowing the ship to go to certain places per scheduled itinerary, we take great care of you. As I mentioned before, everything we do is word of mouth. So if you go home after this cruise experience and your friends and family say, "Hey, Anna, how was your trip?" "Oh, it was fine. We couldn't make it to this city because the rain was too high and there was a situation with the boat. The engine ran out of gas," whatever it is, they're going to say, "Oh, that's horrible. That's a shame. I guess you're not sailing with them again." And you're going to say, "No, actually, I'm going next year. They gave me a huge incentive to come back and try it again. You should come with me. By the way, I've got a great travel advisor, Christina, I'd like to introduce you to." That's how that conversation goes. So please rest assured, everyone on the call, if something goes wonky with your cruise because of either an act of God or something that has to do with our engines or whatever, mind you, all of our ships are less than 10 years old, um, we take great care of you. We want you to come back and we want you to say is a great company. That's how we've become the second biggest on the planet. So, Anna, I hope that answered your question. Okay. Any final comments, Christina, before we all call it a night?
No, I just want to thank everybody for joining us, and I hope that you guys will come cruise with us. My husband Justin and I will be on this cruise, and we are very much looking forward to it. It'll be actually my first time with Ama, and so I cannot wait because I hear about it all the time from my clients and my colleagues who tell me how great it is, and I've been jealous. And so now I finally get to go, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the evening. Christina, thank you for putting this together. And Rosa, appreciate your support. Have a great night, everyone. Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
Bye-bye.
And yeah, reach out anytime. We're here for you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Thank
Carson.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.